Hello and welcome back to another episode of Auto Reviews 24. Today's car is well into the highly competitive compact sedan segment. This car right here is the brand new 2025 Kia K4, and this apparently replaces the Kia Forte nameplate in its portfolio. Well, in this detailed review, we will find out how competitive this new car is against the tried and tested products in the market: Toyota Corolla, Honda Civic, Hyundai's Elantra, or even likes of Volkswagen's Jetta or Nissan Sentra. So stay tuned to find out whether you should go ahead and shortlist this K4 or still look for the products which are already in the market. Let's get into more details. And a huge shout out to Alex and Jason from Kia Sautel Hyundai for lending us this car today so that we can review it for you. And if you are looking for new Kia products likes of the K4, please go ahead and contact Alex, and he would certainly be helpful for your new Christmas purchase. Alright, so let's talk about the engine and specification of this 2025 brand new Kia K4. And right under the hood, as you see, this is the 2-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engine mated with IVT. They call it Intelligent Variable Transmission, producing 147 horsepower and 132 pound-feet of torque. You can also go for the GT line, which are the top two lines, where you get 1.6-liter turbo engine, and that produces 190 horsepower and 195 pound-feet of torque. I really love the way they have at least put some insulation on the hood as well. In fact, they also have an acoustic windshield to make sure that the cabin inside is much more quieter. Another thing about this car is this car comes only in the front wheel drive option, no all-wheel drive option available. Also, there is no towing capacity for this sedan as well. The mileage is pretty nice, around 14 to 15 kilometers per liter in this 2-liter, and if you go for the turbo engine, it is still better, around 12 to 13 kilometers per liter, which I would say is a decent number when it comes to the size of this car, which is as long as 185 inches, and hence it will also translate into great interior comfort and space, which we will talk about later. So let's talk about the exterior design of this 2025 Kia K4. Now, this car screams stylish design from every angle of this car. In fact, the front is more handsome, the rear is even better, and the best profile is from the side, as per my opinion. But if you see from the front, the car is wider, more lower. That also translates into a beautiful looking sporty design. LED headlights right here, all LEDs, high beam and low beams. I love this new DRLs, which also turns into turn signals when you need it. It comes with standard R17 wheels, 225 by 35 if I'm not wrong, and the car sits lower on the ground. So the ground clearance is 5.5 inches only, but it also translates into nice handling, which we'll talk about in the driving dynamics. The side mirrors also has integrated turn signals. The simplicity of the car from the side is really clear here. If you see what I was talking about, the side profile, the car is 185 inches long. The car also has a slopey roof line. On the interesting bit of element here is for the rear doors, you don't have traditional door handles like here, but you have it integrated in the door itself. That's one thing to note. Now let's talk about the rear end of this car. Opposite United design continues in the rear. Eventually looks really nice in the night time. I love the way the sportback look of this car translates into the rear handsomely and very neatly. In fact, the rear bumper here also looks really nice and sporty. You even have a brake lights right down there as if you're driving a race car, which again, it's nice. You see new Kia logo. Here is your rear camera, as well as the button to power open your trunk. The K4 badge is very simple and neat. Now let's open the trunk of this and see how big is it. The trunk space here also does not disappoint. It is 14.6 cubic feet of space, and guess what? You even get a spare tire, which is really nice when you're especially driving this car in wintry roads in Canada. In fact, it also has an option to open and flat the second rows right from this notches on both sides, and that's pretty much it. Let's see how comfortable and spacious it is from inside. So before we get into the interior, this is the corporate key from Kia. I really love this new styling of this Kia. Your lock, unlock and all the buttons on this side, remote start stop on the other side. It is very lightweight and it looks very simple. Now let's talk about the driver side door panel right here. Again, I love that there are no piano black touches at all. You see this typical grayish tone which you also see in some Volkswagen cars. Again, soft leather over here, buttons for all your window operations, which is really nice. Make the center console look very clean. They have made small changes by moving the heated steering wheel and the heated seats buttons on the door panel, which really translates into clean design. The door pockets are quite big and wide, comes with 6-speaker audio system, no electronically adjustable seat controls, but at least they have given height adjustable settings for both driver and the passenger seats, which is really nice. I really appreciate that. Again, this is the EX Plus model, so you get this perforated styled synthetic leather seats, which really looks nice. As you see, very simple. There is a dual tone touch to it, but because of the lightings you might not be able to see that. Overall, as I mentioned, no black piano touches. You see all gray touch plastics, which at least elevates the look and doesn't catch any fingerprints. Now let's talk about the dashboard design. Let's close the driver door. Nice sounding thunk, which really translates into good build quality. Now let's talk about the dashboard design. The design is really elegant, horizontal lines, very clean, simple interior. The steering wheel has really interesting design, which has flat bottom on top and bottom. Again, this has artificial leather wrapped, but it still looks really nice. You have got a lot of controls on your left with all your typical cruise control and everything. On your right, you have got typical volume and favorite button and modes, drive modes and everything. In fact, this also comes with drive modes. But before you talk about the drive modes, the steering wheel also is telescopic and tilted adjustable, but it is manual from here. Digital screens. This being a mid-range EX Plus, you get 4.5 inches of driver's display. However, you still get massive 12.3 inches of instrument control display, which is a good addition. And this also has wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which is icing on a cake. Driver's display is very simple and easy to understand. As I mentioned, this also has this drive modes. Right now, it's only normal and sports. But if you go for the GT line, I believe they have got one more mode. The best part I love about this car is it's a combination of old school and modern design. In fact, there is one 5-inch screen here for HOX system. Button systems, I love this roller style volume button systems for all your HOX system, and you also have a wireless charger with some handful of USB-C ports and a traditional gear shifter and a push button start stop, auto hold, camera button over here, a good decent size cup holders which also can be closed when you want to. Overall, the center console is also decent size, not too deep, but it still stores enough. The glove box here is also quite big and deep, but the overall essence of this car being, economical compact sedan for people who want to go from point A to point B, and yet you get all the bells and whistles, which adds value to this product. The dashboard is also quite low, hence the visibility is nice. In fact, the car also comes with a sunroof, as you see right here, and all typical other controls. The sun visor is over here, and it also comes with LED lights. Those are like dual tone, as well as the headrest comes a little bit out and it kind of is very cushy, and the seats are quite soft and comfortable for long journeys as well. As I mentioned, this is a typical Hyundai corporate screen, which is the same for Kia as well. The design is modern, simple. You also have nature sound. You can actually use different settings from the setup. Everything is very simple and easy to understand. Nothing fancy. You got what you need. You have wireless phone projection as well, which I mentioned. And when you turn on the camera button, you also have this high resolution reverse camera. Now, obviously, this does not have the 360-degree camera system, which you would find it in the GT line and the top two models, but at least it has got some different views, wide angle and everything. Now let's hop into the second row and see how comfortable and easy it is. As I mentioned, this has door handle on the windows, not traditional door handles like how you are used to, but as you see, the rear door panel is also very simple design, two-tone. The overall space, right, as you see, looks really decent. In fact, Kia says it has got 38 inches of legroom, and which I can certainly feel it. I'm right behind the driver's seat. Ample of legroom. Under thigh support is also nice because the seats are quite wide and flat. You have got your own AC vents, even USB-C, and some storage on the passenger side of things. That perforated style seating continues in the rear as well. It doesn't have any center console, which I realize, which is again one small miss, I would say. So as I mentioned, this car is really wide in its stance. So you see the headroom is quite high and really nice. Even the shoulder rooms, it can easily sit three people without any discomfort. And I mentioned the legroom and everything is really awesome. So for this price point and size, I really love the way this is roomier and comfortable. Alright, so it's time for us to hop into the driver's seat and decide how good it is to drive and handling when it comes to the Kia K4, which is apparently the same platform as the Hyundai Elantra. Alright folks, so let's talk about the driving dynamics of this 2025 Kia K4. Let's put it into drive and see how it performs, especially the engine in this car, which is 2-liter naturally aspirated 147 horsepower, and see how it goes. The car is really quiet, especially when I just moved into a small bumpy road ahead. As you see, the suspension is also quite soft and took away the bumps really well. I'm really so far impressed with the way it is taken off. Again, this car I would say is very much for the people's for the city driving 100%, but you can even take it for a long drives, highway driving, because the power is ample enough. And as you see, this is city roads where again we are in Canada and it has been snowy winter. We are in December, so as you see, it's a great weather outside today. So you see puddle of water and snow, but as I mentioned, the car is really quieter from inside thanks to this acoustic windshield as well as all sound damping to reduce the noise levels inside this car. Now let's take it onto the main road and see how it drives. Braking is really nice and stable, and let's slightly push the gas pedal and see how the power delivery is. As you see, the engine noise coming in, but it's a nice growling engine noise. The power delivery was linear and nice thanks to this IVT, they call it intelligent variable transmission gearbox. Again, I didn't see any gearbox jerkiness or lags in that matter of for sure, which is good sign. The turning radius of this particular car, it's really nice, as we will take a U-turn over here, and the overall turning abilities of this car and handling is really shows here. The steering in fact is quite firm or hard, I would say, comparatively, which is actually a good sign, because generally when you drive a car which is very light at steering, you feel like toyish. In this case, you really feel like you're driving a premium SUV kind of steering feel, which is really a good thing to have. Now let's put it into a sports mode after the signal, and then we'll see how it performs in the sports mode. The steering also has stiffened up a little bit, which is again a good sign. And as soon as I hit the gas pedal, as you see, the power delivery is really nice. Obviously I see more gear holding here. When you see the linear delivery of the power as well as the stiffness of the suspension when you need to have it in the sports mode for that agility and driving dynamics, which is also there at this price point, you can't complain at all. The car sits lower on the road, which also translates into good center of gravity and also into a good handling, moving the steering wheel, and the steering wheel is very precise. There is no dead spot at all, which is again a good sign. Having said all this, I would really love this car to have slightly more power, and obviously a hybrid engine would bring more smile to the mileage section of it, and that's all the consumer looks for. But even without a hybrid engine, this car doesn't disappoint at all. So as you saw, this car really does well in the driving of it, and I'm right now in the parking lot maneuvering this car in tight spots, and it is really giving me ease of handling, a good product in terms of driving as well. Now let's talk about the final thoughts. All right then, it's time for the final thoughts. Should you go ahead and consider, shortlist or buy this 2025 Kia K4? Well, in my opinion, this car is bold, modern, sporty, comfortable, wider, faster, yet this car misses out in some elements, like it does not have any hybrid powertrain. The engine in the base model is not as powerful as the top end models in the GT line. Having said that, when you compare this car from its price point, that's where it really has a winner in itself. Why? Because the car starts with shy of 24,000 Canadian dollars MSRP, and it goes all the way to 34,000 Canadian dollars for the top of the line GT line turbo. This product is really for those who are looking for a car which is stylish from outside, comfortable and high tech from inside, roomier as well, and has got a really decent engine which takes you from point A to point B. And mind you, for a price point of around $28,000, which is this particular model, the EX Plus, which also comes with the synthetic leather and a beautiful sunroof, you can't complain, right? And hence, I would certainly go ahead and shortlist this K4 against the likes of players like Toyota Corolla or Honda Civic, which has been the top sellers in the market. But if you are looking for something fresh, something refreshing, something new, then this is the one which I certainly would prefer over the others. But you can decide for yourself whether you want to look for this car or you want to go ahead for the cars which are already out there in markets for decades. Well, that's all from my side for this review. If you guys love my reviews, please go ahead and like and subscribe to support my channel. Thank you all and see you all in the next one, and hopefully in 2025.